歡迎大家嚟到由香港電腦商會主辦嘅香港電腦通訊節2025，並且參與今日嘅重點環節之一 AI 落地體驗跨行業成功案例分享。我係今日嘅主持昌昌，大家好，非常之榮幸可以喺呢一度咧，同大家一齊去探索人工智能科技點樣喺唔同嘅行業裏面發揮作用，為我哋嘅生活啦、工作啦同埋學習帶嚟嶄新嘅可能性。今日咧，我哋邀請咗兩間專注喺人工智能應用嘅企業，佢哋咧將會為我哋現場分享 AI 技術點樣喺推廣、教育等等嘅領域當中咧實現呢一個落地，同埋解決實際問題，創造價值。希望咧咁多位可以透過呢一啲嘅真實案例，獲得啟發，將 AI 科技融入自己嘅未來發展當中。我哋今日咧，首先就會邀請我哋一個團體 AIX Society Marketing Hailey 上台為我哋開始我哋今日嘅論壇。我哋跟住落嚟嘅時間就交俾 Hailey， 掌聲有請。
各位嘉賓、各位朋友，大家好，我係 AIX Society Hailey Marketing 嘅。咁非常之榮幸咧喺呢度同大家相聚。咁我哋 AIX Society 咧喺呢一個鐘時間內咧，亦都為大家準備咗3個環節。AIX Society 介紹分享新書《你和你嘅企業如何不被 AI 取替》新書發布，同埋最新 AI 企業應用論壇。咁首先咧，我亦都代表下我哋公司同大家介紹一下我哋 AIX Society 究竟係做咩嘅。咁 AIX Society 中文名係人工智能應用研究學會。咁我哋想立足香港，服務亞洲，推動企業運用 AI 技術實現自動化轉型同埋創新，融合咗顧問諮詢、技術教育同埋跨域合作，助力傳統企業向智慧營運新時代邁進。咁香港人做生意一直都係要快、準、狠。但係要揾到啱嘅 solution， 唔可以浪費時間。咁依家 AI 咧，亦都唔再係實驗室入邊嘅高科技，而係直接影響到我哋生活嘅方方面面。咁同時咧，由 AI 亦都會令到我哋大家可以寫文章啦，同埋做銷售，亦都到市場分析、客戶服務同埋 AI 亦都幫到我哋好多嘢。咁但係問題係點樣用得啱，同埋點樣用得着數？咁呢一個就係 AIX Society 嘅作用啦。咁我哋咧亦都有3個嘅核心使命。咁第一就係顧問同埋落地應用。好多企業聽到 AI 咧，亦都係好想用，但係又驚投資錯方向。咁 AIX Society 團隊咧，亦都為大家能夠分析業務需要，揀啱技術、設計流程，確保 AI 唔再係噱頭，而係真係可以幫到你慳時間、慳人手同埋慳成本。同時亦都幫到大家能夠開發新嘅收入來源。咁第二就係教育同埋培訓。我哋相信 AI 唔再係 IT 公司先要識，而係由上到下都要識。咁無論係高層決策定係前線嘅同客人打交道，全部人都要識用 AI。咁所以咧，我哋都設計咗唔同嘅課程同埋工作坊，唔單止係教大家工具，同埋仲要教大家點樣去用 AI 去諗一個新嘅生意模式，改造公司文化，打造一個新嘅 AI 驅動嘅企業。咁第三就係社群連接。香港要行出一條 AI 嘅路咧，唔可以單打獨鬥。咁所以咧 AIX Society 咧建立咗一個社群平台，將開發者、企業、專業人士同埋投資者都拉埋一齊，想同大家一齊互相交流、互相合作，推動更多嘅 AI 企業嘅創新應用。咁仲有一個好重要嘅就係我哋都係多家嘅頂尖 AI 品牌嘅合作伙伴同埋經銷商。咁例如中國嘅同埋香港嘅方案咧，就係 DingTalk。中國有7億人用緊呢一個 AI 辦公室自動化系統，已經將 AI 深入到企業嘅每日嘅運作入邊。ReadySpace 可靠嘅雲端同埋安全方案，幫企業處理數據同埋 AI 部署。Midas Analytics 提供數據分析同埋 AI 模型，幫大家能夠更加精準咁樣去做一個決策。咁仲有其他頂尖嘅大模型嘅供應商，我哋亦都係可以幫大家嚟到對接落地㗎。咁換句話嚟講咧，係透過我哋 AIX Society 咧，企業唔再需要周圍去揾 solution， 咁我哋亦都可以幫到大家咧揀到最頂尖、最實用嘅呢一個 AI 工具，一站式咁樣交到大家手中㗎。咁講到 我哋 AI Society 咧唔係話要取替人，而係話想幫大家能夠打開一個新嘅機會，去創造一個新嘅價值。咁喺呢個 AI 時代，香港企業唔再需要話再問 AI 會唔會取替我，而係話 AI 點樣幫我升級打怪。咁希望今日之後咧，大家能夠記得香港有一個 AI Society 可以成為大家未來嘅 AI 好partner啦。咁跟住嘅時間咧，就係我哋 AI Society 為大家帶來嘅精彩環節，新書你和你嘅企業如何不被 AI 取替新書發布及最新 AI 企業應用論壇。咁今日嘅論壇係由我哋 AI Society 創會會長、知名 AI 專欄作家及企業轉型顧問蘇仲成先生主持，佢將帶嚟書中嘅深刻見解同埋實用嘅 AI 企業應用策略，幫助各位企業家同埋專業人士咧掌握 AI 變革嘅脈搏啦，唔被時代淘汰嘅。咁同時我哋都邀請咗我哋嘅戰略合作伙伴同大家一齊分享如何去助力企業加速數字化轉型。咁論壇嘅開始，我哋亦都掌聲有請 AI Society 創會會長 Microsoft 蘇仲成先生開場為我上台為我哋開啟一場充滿智慧同埋啟發嘅分享啦！大家掌聲有請。
各位嘉賓、各位 VIP， 今日好高興邀請到，特別是徐總從那個杭州直接坐飛機到香港，那今天都請到好幾位很重量級的嘉賓來到我們這個論壇，那我還是轉回去用廣東話，好不好？徐總，不好意思啊。咁今日好開心啦，就可以同大家分享我喺今個月發布嘅一本新書，叫做《你和你的企業如何不被 AI 取代》。咁呢本書咧，其實真係大家聽落去都有啲驚啊，係咪啊個主題？比較前瞻性高一啲嘅書，亦都係大家每日喺度討論緊嘅一個議題啊！喂 ，AI 越嚟越犀利啊，日新月異。咁相信每一位咧都喺度思考過呢個問題。喂，其實我哋能唔能夠駕馭到呢一個變革咧？啲 AI 越嚟越犀利。最近其實我哋都聽到有唔同嘅公司喺度講緊裁員，甚至乎有一間大銀行裁咗好幾十人之後，就話嗰班同事係需要重新考核。你要識得用 AI， 我就會請你；識我就直情會考慮啦。咁呢一個就係喺咁嘅情況下引致到，我覺得喂，其實真係需要去重新諗諗整個工作環境同埋生活環境係不斷咁因為 AI 嘅轉替而去再考慮我哋應該點樣去發生整個有價值嘅價值鏈，有 value chain 發生嘅。咁我喺呢本書咧，我會今日大概用10分鐘時間啦，同大家了解深入了解一下呢本書嘅核心觀點。特別係希望可以俾到一個方向同指引喺呢個 AI 浪潮中點樣去生存嘅大家。好，首先咧，我哋要正視呢個事實先。人工智慧其實係正以一個咧前所未有嘅速度咧，就重新架構呢個產業嘅邏輯嘅。深刻嘅改變咧，我哋深刻咁改變緊我哋而家熟悉嘅商業嘅經營模式。呢個係一個雙刃刀嚟嘅，其實一方面咧 ，AI 推動緊效率嘅提升，重塑流程，突破成本嘅樽頸。為咗企業咧，從嚟未試過帶嚟嘅一個特別嘅機遇。另一方面咧，就令到我哋有呢個生存嘅焦慮。根據 McKinsey 一個預測咧，全球有可能多達50% 嘅職位咧，都會被 AI 取替。喺呢個浪潮入邊咧，部分嘅企業如果未及時可以轉型咧，都難逃被市場邊緣化嘅命運。危機之中咧，就往往蘊藏咗機遇。關鍵咧就係我哋點樣去看待同應對呢一個變革嘅。 咁啊，呢本書嘅觀點係非常之明確。其實，與其要擔憂被取締，就不如學識點樣去駕馭 AI。咁我咧就喺過去20年嘅科技創業經驗咧，咁啊提出咗一個好具前瞻性嘅觀點，就係 AI 應該成為大家嘅超級助手，而絕對唔係變成佢嘅取締者嘅。咁啊喺深入嘅思考一下咧 ，AI 其實想淘汰究竟啲咩咧？咁啊絕對係一啲重複同埋機械性工作，而留低嘅咧就係人類最唔想，即係最唔可以取締嘅核心能力，譬如創意、情感、判斷力，而呢個正係咧我哋需要放大嘅優勢。咁點樣可以放大呢個優勢呢？咁個答案就係我哋要學識用 AI 協作，咁啊建立人機共生嘅模式。當我哋將冰冷嘅科技咧轉為有溫度嘅價值咧，咁啊嶄新嘅競爭優勢咧就會喺呢場變革咧就變成一個不敗之地。OK， 喺人機共生嘅實際應用場景下咧，咁有幾個具體嘅例子，我哋可以講講點樣人機共生。咁啊，首先咧，其實設計師咧，就可以透過生成式 AI 咧，去快速嘅構思草圖。真正嘅價值咧，就最專注喺美感嘅打磨。咁啊，所以 AI 處理技術層面，而設計師咧就專注喺創意嗰個層面，就咁樣完美咗個分工嘅。咁啊，而科學家咧就可以利用 AI 分析大量嘅數據，加速咧新嘅材料研究。咁啊，諗一下，本需要幾年先完成嘅實驗分析咧，而家可以喺幾個星期就完成。但係咧，實際嘅實驗結果咧嘅解讀同埋研究方向嘅判斷咧，仍然係需要科學家嘅專業嘅分析同埋去判斷真正嘅使用方法。工業數據啦，工業數據分析師咧就可以利用 AI 嘅優化供應鏈，預測維修時間啊、市場嘅趨勢啊，咁 AI 能夠處理海量嘅數據，但係咧對於商業策略同埋嘅制度嗰個制定咧，就需要同埋啲風險嘅評估咧，就必須要人類咧去用佢嘅商業智慧去判斷。咁啊，另外啦，可以講講餐飲業啦。咁啊，餐飲業方面，智能點餐啦、機器人嘅服務生啦，就可以提升到顧客嘅服務體驗。但係咧，創造溫馨同埋用餐嘅氛圍，處理特別嘅需求，建立客人嘅情感連結咧，就係仍然係要需要人類嘅服務作為一個專長。咁啊，最後啦，去到醫生方面啦 ，AI 其實可以協助進行輔助嘅診斷，提高診斷嘅準確性啦同埋效率。但係咁樣做嘅目的係咩咧？其實醫生最能夠騰出咗呢啲時間出嚟咧，就係回歸翻人民關懷同埋病人嘅溝通。咁啊，醫療嘅本身係關懷，而 AI 就永遠冇辦法取替嘅呢樣嘢。咁喺呢個例子話俾大家聽，其實人機共生咧並唔係人類嘅退讓啊，而係人類價值嘅升華。好啦，喺本書嘅第4部分，我哋會提到嗰個企業轉型嘅深層變革。咁啊，喺呢度我哋必須要認識嘅咧，其實係 AI 轉型咧，就唔係一個單一嘅技術應用，而係一場涵蓋咗流程優化、組織能力升級及企業文化重構嘅深層變革。首先啦，流程優化，企業咧需要重新設計業務流程，唔係單止用 AI 去取替人工，而係重新考慮整個工作流程，揾出最適合 AI 處理嘅環節，以及需要人類參與嘅環節嘅。咁啊，另外啦，喺呢個組織能力嘅升級啊，企業需要培養員工數據思維， AI 應用能力，建立跨領域嘅團隊，令到技術人員同埋業務人員咧能夠有效協作。咁啊，最重要就係企業文化嘅重構。咁啊，企業需要建立創新同埋持續學習嘅文化，鼓勵員工擁抱變革，而唔係抗拒變革。咁以香港為例，我們正向住呢個新型工業化同埋國際創新科技中心呢個宏願邁進。咁呢需要每一間嘅企業都要主動擁抱、積極咁參與。好，本書嘅第5部分咧就會提及到我哋一定要成為一個 AI 嘅造浪者。咁啊，我試下用一句話嚟總結呢本書。個核心信息就係 AI 會取替企業，但善用 AI 嘅企業終將取代嗰些拒絕改變嘅企業。咁啊，呢本書不僅啦係一本理論嘅著作，而係一本實戰嘅指南。佢會話俾我哋聽點樣喺 AI 嘅浪潮中，不僅去生存，而係茁壯嘅成長。而家我哋有3個選擇。第一個選擇就係成為被浪者，咁啊試圖避免呢一場變革，但係最終就會被浪潮淹沒，成為咗被逼退嘅人。咁啊最後而另外一個咧就係成為乘浪者，咁啊被動地跟隨潮流，但係缺乏主動權。咁最後其實就係最好就係成為呢個造浪者，主動咁引領呢個變革，創造屬於自己嘅浪潮。咁啊，我喺呢本書當然呼籲第三條路啊，大家可以主動擁抱 AI， 積極參與轉型，培養數據嘅思維，建立學習嘅文化。咁啊，與其要擔憂被取代，就不如駕馭 AI 成為呢一場變革造浪者。咁啊，不僅係一個態度，而係一個行為。好，今日嘅介紹係咁多，多謝大家。好，咁啊，下一環節我就邀請咗3位嘉賓上嚟嘅，麻煩或者安排啲座位先。好，咁我先介紹下今日有3位嘅嘉賓啦。咁啊，再介紹一下我自己先啦。我係蘇仲成啦 ，AIX 人工智能應用研究學會嘅創辦人同埋首席顧問。咁啊，第2位我嘅頭先都提到啦，徐峰先生，阿里巴巴集團嘅釘釘新子行業總監啊，謝謝你，謝謝他今天特意從那個杭州坐飛機到香港來參加我們今天的那個論壇。Another one I would like to introduce to all of you is Dr. Michele Filippo. I would say he has a very interesting background that he has been studying in 6 different universities over the last 20 years. Spent 10 years in Hong Kong. I met him at Lucerne Chambers. He studied in Auckland as well. One of our, I would say, alumni. Today he has become our partner that we are reselling the marketing research services and AI system. 好，第3位 ，last but not the least， 因為佢係我嘅好拍檔，而家我嘅寫字樓亦都喺 Ready Space 嘅 office， 同佢哋並肩作戰，同佢哋另外3間公司。Alex Yao 先生，佢係新加坡原創公司，20年前嚟到香港做 hosting 嘅，做 private cloud AI cloud 嘅一間公司嘅聯合創辦人 Alex Yao。好，咁我哋俾啲掌聲佢哋啊！好，請大家上一上台，前身係。 谢你啊！我在第3次感谢你来到，还有解贤在哪里啊？解贤也谢谢你来到香港，特别的为了我们这个节目，今天呢很光荣请到徐总。那我用廣東話再介紹一下，丁丁，等一下再給你介紹。大家好，我想問有冇人用緊叮叮喺呢度，可以舉手嘛？啊，徐總還是那個機會很大，因為很多人還沒用。叮叮我簡單介紹下，叮叮其實就係一個商業用嘅 instant message， 即係好似 WhatsApp 啊、WeChat 咁嘅嘢。但係阿里巴巴喺大概多少年前啊？
我們目前整個用戶量
不，多少年前開始
？10年前。
10年前。
10年前。
10年前，所以聽日我哋會去杭州參加佢10週年紀念。10年前佢哋公司起動咗叮叮呢個項目，俾佢公司內部使用作為一個員工溝通公司內部文件運作各方面嘅管理嘅系統。咁係好幸運啦！我們剛剛上個禮拜簽那個戰略合作的一個協議，我們 AIX 的 Society 變成那個 TikTok 的香港的一個合作夥伴，我們打算大力去推動這個軟件，可以讓香港的中小型好好使用，幫助他們去發展，然後最重要是可以拓展這個中國市場。有了這個軟件，就更容易可以跟國內的其他企業做溝通。好，那今天呢，我想大概用10分鐘時間，也給那個徐總介紹一下叮叮的背景，還有它的那個場景啊是怎麼使用。有用了之後有什麼好處？那我們給那個給徐總看一下，拿一下這個，OK。按後面那個 PPT， 好，那我們給徐總掌聲鼓勵，謝謝啊。
好，大家好，我這個粵語講得不好啊，我就用普通話來講。那個我是來自阿里巴巴集團叮叮事業部徐峰，然後今天非常榮幸，非常高興來到香港，花了簡短的時間介紹一下阿里巴巴以及叮叮在這 AI 這個時代我們的一些思考。對，就這個一個生成式的 AI 這個時代，大家可能都知道，就從23年開始，就蓬勃發展起來。那這幾年來呢，整個阿里巴巴在 AI 的這個投入也是非常大的。這邊我是跟美國的幾家在 AI 發展還是比較頭部的企業，我們做了一些比較。那其實整個 AI 的這個整個的產業的發展，它其實是一個全面路的一個事情，對吧？從底層會有一些AI 的芯片啊 ，GPU 算力啊，再往上就是基礎模型啊，再往上就是開源的模型啊，還有就是模型的社區。那其實在整個 AI 的這個產業鏈上面啊，整個阿里巴巴其實全產業都有布局。這個其實也是國內啊，甚至在這個全球範圍內啊，也是很少的啊。比如就講一個開源社區啊，國內我們是有個 Model Scope 啊，就對標海外的叫 Hugging Face。那在模型層面啊，整個阿里巴巴的話也是我們應該說今年3、4月份剛剛發布的千問3啊，也是佔據了這個 Hugging Face 的這個開源社區裡面的Top 10裡面的一大半啊。我們剛剛看過7月31號的數據，Hugging Face 裡面排名前10的啊，大概有5個啊，全是都是基於整個千問3的這個模型啊去做二次訓練啊生成。這也是代表了我們的這個模型的能力啊，也是在這個全球範圍內也是領先的啊。包括剛剛8月份是吧？那個 GPT-5 推出來以後啊，第三方的這個測評機構 LM Arena， 這可能大家也聽說過啊。就是一個權威機構，全球啊排名第5的前5的模型啊，第一名就是 GPT-5 那阿里的通义千问3啊，排名是第5位。2到4是哪些呢？就是 Google 的 Gemini 啊 ，GPT-444，还有的 Cloud。也就是说，我们的通义模型啊，其实在开源模型里面，大家知道那前4个都是个闭源模型是吧？开源模型里面是 No.1 的，然后也是中国唯一一家进入这个保单的模型厂商这个也是跟大家做个分享啊。那在这个 AI 的时代，核心有3块，对吧？我们讲生成式人工智能，一个就是算力就是 GPU 目前可能最火的 GPU 应该就是 NVIDIA， 对吧？还有就是算法就是模型的能力。那还有就是数据数据其实是非常关键针对这个产业数据这一块，那阿里巴巴集团的整个的数据的，就是应用层数据其实就代表了应用层我们也是非常全面我们有电商板块的阿里的 Tmall 我们的淘宝那还有针对 C 端的那电商主要是针对 C 端，对吧 ？C 端的数据，那还有就是我们的夸克，这也是目前国内也是一个 C 端的一个 AI 应用调用量最大的这样一个平台。那针对 To B 端的话，那其实就是DingTalk。阿里巴巴今年年初宣布投入3800亿在整个 AI 的这个战略的投资上面那其实一个是 To C， 一个是 To B。To C 就是核心刚才讲的夸克跟我们的那个电商板块。To B 的话，核心就是 DingTalk。DingTalk 就是因为钉钉上面大量的承载了企业的一些数据在里面。那钉钉刚才其实苏会长也提到了，我们从2015年推出第1个版本以来，今年刚好是第10年，明天钉钉就是10周年庆也会发布最新的版本钉钉8.0，或者说钉钉 AI 1.0的版本这10年来的发展，我们见证了整个企业的中国企业界的 SaaS 化的这个数字化的转型，有大量的企业都选择了跟钉钉。我们目前总共有7个亿的用户在使用，也就是说，中国14亿的人口里面，每2个人都有1个人在使用钉钉。然后通过以组织维度，对吧？以企业维度的话，我们有超过2500万的企业全部在使用。刚才我看香港的朋友用的还是不多，零零星星，对吧？所以我们也是从去年开始，我们其实就是进入了香港的市场，开始拓展整个香港以及东南亚的市场这是我们的海外出海的第1站其实呢，香港其实我们也有很多的一些客户，也是在使用比如我们因为香港在金融还是比较发达，是吧？像东亚银行恒生银行在大陆的业务就是用钉钉去开展的，通过钉钉去服务他的企业的客户原来他可能都是用那种 email， 对吧？去发对账单，现在都是用DingTalk，它的即时性会更强，更容易管理，方便管理那其实除了金融行业我们有大量的企业，各行各业制造业、教育全部在用中国的500家企业，超过80%的全部都在使用在使用DingTalk。然后呢这是大型的企业，那面向中小型的呢我们有讲专精特新嘛，就在垂直领域发展比较 top 的一些企业，也超过60%以上都选择用DingTalk去做企业级的办公。那还有就是我们钉钉上面有超过1000万的低代码这个低代码特别适合中小型的企业，它都可以用就拖拉载的方式就可以快速的生成应用企业级的应用来快速的帮我们企业实现什么数字化的办公。另外大模型就 AI 的发展的这2年，整个钉钉也基于 AI 做了重构，钉钉上面所有的产品的能力，这个80多个产品，20几条产品线，全部都基于钉钉的就 AI， 就刚才讲的通义的大模型能力，全部做了重构。大家有兴趣可以下载这样钉钉就可以看到这个钉钉的 AI 的能力。那针对合作伙伴 就是钉钉的生态伙伴，我们也是有超过15万的员工，所以我们也是现在发展海外市场，所以我们会大量的发展也是当地的合作伙伴，我们去联合合作伙伴去服务我们的一些客户。对，那为什么这个 AI 时代，钉钉这么 all in 或者阿里巴巴这么 all in 这样一个 AI？ 其实我们对 AI 也是有思考我们认为企业级的 AI 的落地，在协同办公就钉钉，我们就认为是协同办公平台，协作办公平台AI 在企业级的 AI 应该是在协作办公平台上是非常合适的落地为什么呢？定位的协作办公平台跟那种 to C 端的平台是不一样的。大家可能有很多用那个 ChatGPT 对吧？或者大陆用那个 DeepSeek 或者豆包会很多对吧？但这种平台它都是说针对 to C 的。那在协作办公平台上，或者说钉钉上面，它是 to B 端的。为什么在 AI 在这种协作办公平台上面落地非常合适呢？第一个，它就是组织的里面有组织背景信息，就企业的整个通讯录、角色、背景、你的权限范围，这些都是在协作办公平台上。所以，比如我这次来考出差对吧？你去问一个差旅的标准，不同的角色，他可能差旅的标准是不一样的。可能 General Manager 是吧？他的差旅标准要高一点。一些的 sales 稍微低一点，那这些信息你是不需要显性的是吧？作为 prompt 去问这个大模型。你如果去用 ChatGPT， 它是不知道的，是不是？来看它给你的这个差旅的标准是1000块还是2000块，大家不知道。但是在钉钉上就是这所以这个是我们叫企业级的协同组织背景信息。在企业级的 AI 这个场景上面是非常关键的。那第二个就是数据资产，在钉钉上面有大量的聊天的信息，通过这个知识库对吧？文档在线文档，有很多的企业的一些经验企业的宝贵的知识都在这个文档上面。还有比如我们企业的生产数据，很多企业都有 ERP 是吧？都有 CRM 就这种系统，那这些系统的数据其实都可以汇聚在钉钉上面。大家知道大模型数据那其实是核心大模型都是有一个幻觉的，所以数据的准确性那决定了这个核心的问题。所以第三个就是行动系统，大模型它其实就像大脑对吧？那它最终要去接触这个世界，还是需要通过这个行动系统去跟世界去交互。钉钉上面有大量的这种刚才讲的CRM 系统ERP 系统是我们的低代码系统这些都是去完成我们企业最后1公里的一些业务场景这就是钉钉上面行动系统。所以基于这3点原因，我们认为企业级的 AI 在钉钉上是最合适的。所以最后我来做个总结我们钉钉的定位就是这个 AI 时代的企业协同的一个办公的操作系统。为什么呢？首先我们的员工在这上面，真实的人在这上面。第二个，钉钉上面有大量的 AI agent， 也就是说我们的数字员工 AI 员工也在这个钉钉上面。第三个，我们的企业的业务系统，我们的 ERP、CRM， 我们的 WMS 都在这个上面。还有企业的数据知识在这个知识库在这上，所以它不单单是人协同的汇聚点，还有人真实的人跟数字人之间的协同的汇聚点，还有人跟业务系统的汇聚点，全部在这个钉钉的平台上。那这就势必的对这个平台它是有要求的。第一个，它足够的什么要安全；第二个呢，它足够的开放，它如何先把企业的一些业务系统接进来；第三个，它要足够的智能、敏捷，还有是吧？连接性，感谢大家，我就介绍这么多有兴趣我会在我们刚才那边 R28可以做深入做深入的了解。好，谢谢。
Thank you， 谢谢徐总，非常精彩的介绍。Okay, the next guest I would like to bring in Dr. How to pronounce it?
Filippo.
Filippo.
I know it's a hard one, Michael.
He is our proud of Hong Kong student. As a PhD from the Hong Kong USD. So he founded this Midas company around 5 years ago.
Yep.
And he has been doing lots of consultations. And recently he launched a very amazing AI marketing research system that if you guys are interested in that part of the software, you are welcome to join us after this event at the R18 booth. Okay, please give a big hands to Dr. Filippo, and he will spend around 10 minutes to introduce Midas Analytics.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Michael. And welcome everybody. I'm sorry, this session is gonna be in English, unfortunately, because even though I spent 9 years in Hong Kong, my Cantonese haven't gone that far, so unfortunately, you gotta be in English. All right. So at Midas, we are essentially specializing in Asia market intelligence. And I'll try to introduce you to first the main problem that we found from personal experience. In the past, I've been working with institutions in the United States, with hedge funds and other firms in that space. And one of the biggest problems that we found at that time is that we have noticed that there is a lack of understanding and knowledge about Chinese market, especially in Europe and in the US, or in the West in general. And especially now, in this specific and very moment right now, there's with the rising geopolitical tension, and also with the latest evolution that you heard from tariffs which have been imposed and so on. A lot of Western company are currently looking into tapping into Chinese market. They're interested to know regarding what we're doing. We're interested to know how they can leverage the latest technology from China, or the latest evolution from Asia, Hong Kong, Japan, and so on. However, the big problem remains still there, and it's mostly about the fact that they can't fully understand our markets, and it's mostly because of language barrier and cultural barrier. Because everything is, for instance, Chinese, Japanese, and especially in Asia, where each different country has a different language. Think about Korean, Japan, Japanese, China has Chinese, Thailand, and so on. And that is the bigger problem. And in order to solve that problem, we basically worked on creating a product, which is a specialized Asia market intelligence product. At Midas, we want to help our customers to get their eyes on the Asian markets in a way in which we can now anticipate shifts in policy, competition, and partnerships all across Asia. All of this big language barrier problem that we found, where each different country has one language and has different sources of information and data, now can finally be reunified. Everything can be put into one place, in a way in which now it's a lot easier to find relevant information and to navigate it in the right way, in the way you actually need to get your business to the next level. And essentially what we do, we help our customers to capture the noise and continually tracking the strategic development, government behavior, ecosystem signals, and so on. And the equation for success that we've applied is what you see here at the bottom, where we have the automation that we bring in the collection and analysis of all this data. Then we apply our AI layer on top of it, and then there's always a human creation, so which means it's always a human in the loop, then review making sure that the data is in the right shape to actually achieve what really matters to all of our customers. And this is a bit of our company background. So we're currently number one Asian market intelligence in Asia. There's nobody who's actually on the level where we are now in terms of insights. We have already filed our IP in 5 different countries, including the United States, UK, China, Singapore, and Hong Kong. You can see a pool of some of our customers on the left-hand side of the slide. I'm sure you probably recognize some of those names. We are part of the Science Park ecosystem. Actually, we already completed the whole incubation program in Science Park. Now we're tenant in Science Park. We are a portfolio company of the Hong Kong Artificial Intelligence Laboratory and a spin-off for HKUST, which is my alma mater, where I did my study back then. We also have a presence in France, where we are partnering currently with Creative Valley, which is an accelerator ecosystem, which is based in Paris, in France. We are a designated local research institute by the Hong Kong government. We're vetted by the government and working already with the government on different ranges of projects, and we also certified for ISO 27001, guaranteeing full cybersecurity on all the projects that we work on. On top of it, we also have like different awards that we won. You can see on the right hand side. I won't name all of it so that we don't get bored with this part. Moving forward, well, this is just like a spotlight regarding like some of like our appearance like in the media. So you probably may recognize like some of these websites. Like we were like among like the best like startup like in fintech according to Huawei. So we had some appearances in the media on the When We Go on the left hand side, and more recently we went to VivaTech in Paris, like France. For those of you who don't know, like VivaTech is the biggest tech conference in all of Europe, where there were like 30,000 startups. Like we were among the best 12 within the whole ecosystem. So we got a few media coverage like in the STH line and also in the Hong Kong Economic Times. And now we go to like our product finally. So what is that we do at Midas? So our product is a market research like product, but we take market research and we reinvent it. We want to take away like that part like where for doing market research, like it's always like about web browsing. So you're browsing over one website, another one, and you go from Chinese to Japanese to Korean. It's extremely difficult. It's really, really difficult. And this is the pain point that we solve. We bring this all together and we collect all the Asian market data which is relevant for you, and we filter and organize it in a way in which now it's clear insights that matters to you specifically. So in a nutshell, it is like a one-stop shop for market insights. You just need to essentially choose like what you want to hear about. Say for example, you're interested in certain companies, Nvidia, Alibaba, TSMC, or even American companies like Apple, Tesla, etc. Whatever you're interested in, or specific topics such as science, technology, artificial intelligence, transducers, whatever you want. We curate and analyze all that data, so we only make sure that we surface like to you the data that really matters. So all you need to do is just like choose, and then you'll get it straight away. That's essentially how it works. And we help our customer then to spot patterns in a way in which it becomes like pretty much like data and interesting data available in the snap of a finger. And on top of all of this like data layer that we now like have built, there is also an Ask AI assistant. So I think you can already like imagine like where I'm going, right? Like so with all of this like data that now is curated and personalized to your specific needs and your specific interests, there is an AI assistant. The AI assistant knows about what you're interested in and can give you instant and trusted market intelligence in a way in which you get answer fast and you can trust what you see. Because everything that the AI system will give you is grounded in real knowledge. There is always like a citation where that information comes from, and you can decide to always like trust it because you are in control regarding what the AI system will be always giving to you. And it's very simple. You just like tap in a question and then it will answer you. Or it can also prompt a suggestion. So you can tell you, for example, hey, this is like, have you looked at this specific like topic if you're interested in this area of expertise? And then we evolved our system. So now like one way of using our platform is you are a user, you log into like our web app, and then you browse and search for information. That's like one way. Another way is you can assign an agent to do that on behalf of you. So what that means, once you nail down where your interests, you can assign an agent, and the agent will be browsing this information like for you and report to you. Almost like if it was like your junior employee that does now the research for you and then reports like to you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and you can deliver your reports, you can deliver your insights, you can decide like which writing style you want to apply, if you want a full report, like with graphs, like you want financial data to be in there, or you want just like a couple of bullet points, like emoji, whatever you prefer. You can decide and schedule your agent and it will deliver reports like to you, both in the web application and via email to you. And it basically can help you to automate like the tasks of market research. So in a way in which you don't need to monitor anything. The agent will do it for you, you just need to wait, and then he will come back to you with all the information you need. And the way it works is very simple. You can see from the left-hand side of the screen, the first like step is you assign an agent. You assign an agent to like one search that you're done, and then on the second one, you set instructions. Okay, what does the agent have to do? I want to follow, for example, Nike watch. Like, give me like a prompt, give me some instructions. Or I can suggest you what you should look at. You see on the bottom, it's suggestion. Those are suggestions the agent can give you and tell you what you should look at. And then on the right hand side is when you get briefed. So the agent now keeps briefing you and reports it to you, hey, this is what happened, this is what happened. And it goes on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. You decide the frequency, and then it will be reported to you. Now, given the understanding of the product, I'll be presenting some use cases that we worked on. The most straightforward use case is like for investment analysis. So we're working with some hedge funds and family offices like both in Hong Kong, in the UK, in the US. And the use case that we've explored to them is what I basically introduced in the first place. This was the first problem that drove me to get started with this idea. And the problem is that often Western investors lack early visibility into disrupting technology and disrupting companies like in Asia and China. And that's mostly, again, due to language barriers. We come in and we solve the problem because we monitor local language news, we monitor supply chains, we monitor information related to these markets, and then we translate and reorganize in a way in which now it's a lot easier for them to surface. The problem is solved because now the way our customer currently using it, they assign an agent. They can ask an agent, and the agent will be flagging port delays, lockdown, supplier insolvencies, and answer questions such as what's happening to supplier this week. Right, so you know like what is the supply chain like, and then based on that you can spot risk straight away. So you get real-time alerts regarding risks like which are upcoming for you. Second one is now beyond investment for the investment area, we are also looking. We also like working with companies which are more market agnostic or like it's industry agnostic. So what that means is you can think about like any other firm which is like within other industry which has interest into learning into the Asian markets. Now, for instance, in this case, like we worked like with the logistics company who is interested in tracking competitors' move in Asia. It's a big enterprise who has presence in all of these like markets, and they want to track like competitors move across Asia. So which means Singapore, China, Macau, Taiwan, Japan, and so on. So the problem is that all the analysts like struggle to keep up with all the local market moves by competitors, what are the competitors doing, and so on. And they basically use like our solution to scan all the regional outlets and regulatory filing to track like partnership product launches that all the competitors have been doing. And again, the way they're currently using is like with automated monitoring based on target companies that they're interested in, and then they use it also by using like our Ask AI system on a daily basis to keep asking questions and finding out the new answers regarding the latest evolution in terms of competition. Third, I introduce like one more, which is about spotting policy shifts in emerging markets. Asian markets are a bit different compared to US and European. In Asian markets, like the government policies like drives, for example, stock market or drives in general like market movements. So which means, for example, if in China there's like a policy that comes up, then depending on like what the policy is like, then different industries like will follow. And based on like who are like the main players in those industries, but then you can get to understand like who are the winners, who are the losers, right? So it's always like coming top down in terms of policy shifts. That's something that we do track, and investors do like it because they miss all of these critical regulatory changes, especially in countries like China, for instance. We flag all these relevant policy developments in terms of restrictions, subsidies, export controls, and explain what is the impact of those and what specific industries and companies are going to be impacted and how. So the way it translates into impact like for our customers is through translated government releases, media briefing, AI agent, and instant insights, which simplifies the process of research continuously through the latest policy information. This is the benefits we bring to our customer. So in a nutshell, faster research now is brought down, it's cut down from hours to minutes. It's easier because you can now just ask a question or assign an agent and they'll get back to you with an answer. It's smarter because now it can surface all the insights which are have already been penalized for us. So we don't need to search for where for example, media is mentioned. You already know it because we penalize all the data. And then finally we can bring in scalable impact because this will drive better decision with fewer resources. So which means it's cheaper and it's better and it's more effective. In a way in which we deliver faster market research, more coverage, and finally also less hassle. If you're interested to learn more, feel free to scan into our code, and I'll be more than happy to drive you through a demo of how our platform works, and perhaps you can find out if that can be useful for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Please take a seat. We'll pass the microphone to Mr. Alex Yao. I'll follow up the following guests from Ready Space. 下一位係Alex Yao 先生，我嘅好伙伴。咁佢嘅公司叫做 Ready Space，咁專係做雲端嘅服務嘅。咁我大概又花10分鐘到俾佢講，喂，香港雲端嘅服務啦 ，AI 方面有啲咩需要？點解要搞重整你嘅雲端服務，係應對 AI 嘅使用嘅？好，我哋俾啲掌聲啊，優生。
Hello， 大家好，咁AI 好國際化啦，有國語有英文，到我就香港廣東話。Ready Space 咧簡單介紹咧就係一間喺香港20幾年嘅公司嚟嘅。咁我哋一直專注咧係做域名啦、寄存啦、電郵寄存啦、private cloud 啦、public cloud 嘅服務。咁但係今日咧因為 AI 啊嘛，咁我哋都講少少關於 AI 上嘅一啲趨勢同埋一啲服務。係啦，首先咧今日咧就想同大家講一講呢個 AICS 係啦，大家都聽過啦 ，AI 發展到呢個地步嘅時候咧，咁喺客服上面其實已經幫到好多啦。咁但係咧，其實喺市場上仲有好多嘅誤解嘅，因為我哋一直去服務我哋客人嘅時候咧，就發現有幾樣嘢啦。首先咧有個客人好得意嘅，佢就覺得喂 AI 咁勁，咁我就用啦。咁用完佢用其他供應商嘅，就發現喂唔係喎，佢唔係好準喎，佢麻麻地喎。咁最後咧又好搞笑啦，咁佢就用翻呢啲 IVR 嘅方法啦，即係撳1就答乜，答2就答乜，咁呢啲一定啱啊嘛。其實就浪費咗 AI 嗰個技術。咁亦都有啲客咧就覺得咧，哇好複雜喎！嗱，我唔係唔相信佢勁，但我咪要講好多嘢，做好多嘢啊，先令到佢能夠準確咯。咁呢啲係 market 好多成日會問嘅嘢啦。又或者覺得，咦，其實 AI 佢未必咁準喎，未必答到客人喎，咁會唔會將我哋公司嗰個品牌都去掉失咗咧？係咪即係得罪咗啲客咧？咁樣其實事實上咧 ，AI 已經進展得好快啦。咁其實亦都好多方法咧，可以令到更加準確嘅。係啦，咁仲有第二個迷思啦，就覺得好貴喎 AI 嗱唔係唔好，不過計落咧，咁其實都係同請腳差唔多啊。咁點解要用呢樣嘢去 replace 人咧？咁呢啲都係喺 market 上面，因為有唔同嘅供應商啦，咁亦都有啲客人同我哋反映翻啦，就係咧有啲供應商都要求我哋做好多嘢先可以用得到，係啦。咁聽落就好容易，但係做落去就好困難，即係呢啲都係經常會聽到嘅，即係反而咧有個老闆同我講咧，就反而佢用咗呢啲服務之後咧，佢更加痛苦，因為咧佢要解決好多嘢，跟住供應商叫佢開張虛擬嘅 credit card 去買一啲 credit 先用到嘅，咁都聽過嘅，係啦。咁其實咧事實上，咁喺呢個 AI 嘅世界啦，咁大家都知道走唔甩㗎啦。頭先阿 Michael 都講咗啦，係咪？即係你一係逃避，一係就接受，咁都唔使揀啦，一定係接受啦。咁好多數字啊，呢啲統計咧都反映緊咧，其實 AICS 呢樣嘢係會節省成本啦，24×7啦，甚至乎係減低客人嘅流失嘅。咁好啦，問題喺邊咧？即係頭先咁多誤解啦，咁其實咧就精選咗一版。就係如果你真係需要做一個 CS 嘅 AI 模型咧，你要留意幾樣嘢嘅。首先 Ready Space 有提供呢個服務啦，咁我哋嗰個嘅後面嗰個邏輯好簡單嘅啫，幾樣嘢3 part。第一 part 就係你要揀一個啱嘅 AI 嘅 prompt， 係啦。咩叫 AI prompt 咧？即係你要話俾個 AI 知佢係乜嘢，佢嘅身份係乜嘢。咁其實都 default 咗好多嘅一啲 prompt 喺上面嘅，咁你可以用一啲 template 啦去再修改啦，同埋咧你係需要去揀用邊個 LM 去回答嘅 ，LM 即係大家用開嗰啲啊 ChatGPT 啊 Gemini 咁樣啦。咁我哋嘅 portal 本身咧就全部都 support 嘅，係啦，即係有新嘅佢就會有㗎啦。咁唔會因為咧你要轉 LM 話勁啲喎 ChatGPT 5出咗啦，咁我又重新做過晒所有嘢，唔需要嘅，你隨時可以轉嘅。係啦，第二部分都好重要咧。頭先咧就講到有啲問題咧，就有啲人就驚啦，哇整咗個 CS 出嚟去 AI 噶嘛，咁會唔會答咗係其他我嘅競爭對手嘅嘢㗎？即係話佢平話佢靚㗎，咁我 CS 冇理由答其他對手㗎，咁係唔會嘅。但係你要識 set 啦，係你要俾知識庫 AI， 即係呢個知識庫 AI 係咩意思咧？就係個 AI 咧係一個天才嚟嘅，不過咧佢係未見過世面嘅，你就要話俾佢聽呢個世面係點樣啦，話俾佢知。咁佢就係聽你講嘅啫，所以佢係唔會介紹你嘅對手嘅，只會答你公司嘅嘢嘅，係啦。咁一陣有個 demo 大家去試下啦，即係我自己公司嘅 AI CS 係啦。 咁啊，另外啦，就係點樣提升佢回答準確率。嗱，頭先講到嗰個乒乓咧係真嘅，即係 AI 係咪真係100% 準確咧？咁的確唔係嘅，係啦，要需要訓練，需要你去幫助佢嘅，係啦。咁啊，所以喺我哋 portal 入邊咧都有地方啦，可以逐條去話翻俾 AI 睇，你唔啱啊，呢條應該要點答，佢就會透過一個學習嘅過程咧，越嚟越準確㗎啦。呢個係個 QR code，如果有興趣可以自己 scan 下。咁呢一個咧，你 scan 個 QR code 嘅時候咧，就會入咗我哋一個 WhatsApp 嘅群組啦。咁個群組咧，你 scan 咗先，跟住咧佢會叫你打一段字嘅，你就咁撳 send，係啦，佢就會將你加咗入去我哋預設咗嘅群組。咁喺群組入邊咧，就有我哋嘅 AI chatbot 喺入邊㗎啦。咁頭先講咗啦 ，Redisplay 係一間技傳公司啦，你問佢 domain 問題啦，問佢 CS AI 嘅問題啦，佢都要答你嘅。你唔介意都試下問下今日天氣好唔好啊？一條鹹魚幾多錢啊？咁樣你睇下佢會回覆啲乜嘢啦，係啦，咁你就會體驗到啦，係啦。係啦，咁啊可以 scan 啦，呢個係啦，或者你影低相之後 scan，或者 scan 唔到可以打個 URL 都得嘅 ，URL 都會去得到嘅，係啦，都會開你嘅 WhatsApp 嘅，係啦，你自己玩下啦。咁時間關係啦，咁啊總結啦，咁其實咧 AI CS Chatbot 咧係唔單止有工具，係啦，咁咧 display 俾到大家嘅就係一個透明價錢啦，1000零蚊一個月就已經係做到㗎啦件事。咁冇合約嘅，係啦，唔需要話綁你合約嘅。咁我哋有本地化服務啦，因為我哋喺香港都20年啦，係咪？咁你揾到一啲我哋本地同事去支援大家啦。咁同埋咧，頭先有講到嘅就係因為 AI 發展得好快嘛，今日係用緊呢個模型，聽日用你個模型，第三日用第三個模型咯喎。咁我係咪全新 set 過晒咧？唔需要嘅，係啦。咁我哋隨時你可以轉模型嘅。係啦，最後啦，咁其實真係頭先講咗啦 ，CS AI 唔係一個工具，係啦，其實好多 AI 都唔止係工具，係要睇到背後個價值，係啦，唔單止係話喂，我凌晨3點都係覆緊我嘅客喎，以外嘅嘢就係你留唔留得低到個客戶咧？你俾個客戶係咪即時反應咧？因為而家個世界講即時反應喎，係嘛？即係你嘅客戶可能你做好多宣傳嘅，凌晨2點咁啱個客睇到問你嘢，咁你聽日先答佢，可能已經第二個競爭對手搶咗個生意啦，係，所以咧我哋睇到個 trend 嘅趨勢係啦，當然冇辦法24/7請啲customer service 嘅同事喺度啦，成本都好貴啦，香港係咪？就算喺外國請，咁成本都唔少。但係咧 AI 咧絕對可以幫到大手。咁有興趣咧可以過嚟揾我哋喺 R18個 pool 嘅，係啦，咁啊可以揾我同 Michael 傾下偈啊 ，thank you 大家。
Thank you Alex， 大家俾掌聲 Alex 啊！好啦，啱啦，調翻你數嚟啊，我過嚟，好啦，咁啊好精彩嘅介紹啦，咁我哋轉翻個 PPT 翻去前面先。咁啊呢個係 Q&A 嘅 section 啊，大家可以趁呢個時間睇下同我啲 partner 傾下偈，睇下有啲咩想問啊，大家可以舉手，我哋會遞個咪過嚟俾你哋嘅。看看有哪一位想問問題的可以舉手。對，後面有一位，對。
好，唔該 ，thank you。To ADAS analytics, many SMEs here don't have the same level of data resources as big corporations. How can similar companies realistically start using AI analytics without huge budget with the in-house data teams?
Okay, that is a good question. So some of the projects that we worked on, like we have already, it's very common that actually we face like challenges like where some of our customers like want to deploy like AI application, especially nowadays. Like AI agents are very popular. Everybody wants to have like their own AI agents. They think that AI agents like will make their business like faster, cheaper, and it will work like magic. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because yes, the agent like can be enabled in pretty much like any area of a business. However, data is a key. So when we say data is a key, there needs to be like a very good like data infrastructure underlying. Otherwise, like the agent will be just like wandering like and not be able like to basically surface like or find any relevant information for you. So and to answer your question, so in a lot of like projects like where we see like the excitement of our clients, so they say like, hey, we want to build AI agents, we want to do this and do that. Like what we generally do is like we do a data survey in which we review like the current state and maturity from a data standpoint, like how mature our clients are, and then based on that we would suggest like to do initially like a data warehousing, so where what we do is like we essentially analyze like what are the data that matters the most like for the use case we want to deploy, and then based on that like we will be building like first like this data infrastructure so that like the agents like can be surfacing that data on top. It's a bit like say you want to build a big skyscraper, but you don't have foundations, right? We gotta first set foundations and then we can build the building on top. That's a similar concept.
Thank you, Dr. Di Filippo。仲有冇邊位？還有哪一位有問題想了解的？哎，麻煩你將麥克風放到前面啊，前面有位小姐，我問一下，請問是哪邊的？
想問一下徐總，因為我們已經知道釘釘在內地已經有上億用戶了，那香港和海外的企業在導入這樣大型 AI 協作平台時，最大的挑戰是什麼？而且現在大家可能對 AI 的一些隱私數據的泄露可能會有一些擔心，那釘釘又如何確保跨境數據的隱私與安全呢？
徐總，今天早上就有個客戶在我們那個 booth 問的一個問題啊。
謝謝，我覺得這是一個非常好的問題，而且這個釘釘在海外推廣也是必須要面對的這樣一個問題。那我們接觸了大量的這個海外的客戶遇到的最大的一個挑戰應該是就是滿足數據落地和歸信的問題。這個應該說是目前遇到的也是最大的，因為每個國家每個地區都有這個數據隱私的一些條例法規這個合規，比如香港這邊有那個 PDPO 法規，那歐盟那邊有 GDPR， 北美那邊又有 CCPA， 所以不同的釘釘往不同的地區去落的時候勢必會遇到這方面問題。像釘釘這種是屬於企業這些的辦公平台，所以存在的這種在數據的收集、存儲，包括數據跨境的傳輸方面都需要滿足以及符合當地的法律法規不然肯定會要承擔這個法律的風險。那我們如何來解決這樣的問題呢？其實釘釘或者海外版叫釘拓，我們其實考慮了這個層面。釘釘其實它是可以支持這種混合雲的部署模式，叫 hybrid deployment。我們可以支持把釘釘上面的核心的一些數據、聊天、文檔這些核心的數據可以本地化存在，比如我們在 Hong Kong 甚至在海外咱們指定任何地區的一個 data center， 這是一塊。所以數據我們是完全可以駐留本地。那第二塊呢，數據我們可以支持2次的加密。我們可以使用客戶自己的密鑰，對釘釘上面這些核心的數據再做一次加密，確保在釘釘上面數據是沒法泄露的。這是第一個我們遇到最大的挑戰。那第二個呢，就是本地化服務的挑戰，因為不同的地區它的這個語言是不一樣的文化不一樣，所以企業服務的時候這一塊的服務是很重的。所以釘釘的一大策略呢，就是大力發展本地化的合作夥伴。這也是為什麼我們跟 AIX Society 這邊合作，我們希望跟 AIX Society 合作來服務好咱們香港本地的客戶。好，謝謝大家。
謝謝徐總。我哋最後一個問題，睇下邊位想問問題啊？
我想問下 Wednesday 嘅 Alex， 而家 cyber security 咧係一直好多大小公司都關注呢個問題啦。喺 AI 時代，可能 hacker 都會用 AI 喎。咁我哋公司要點樣取得一個 balance 咧？喺成本便利性同埋安全性呢3個方面。各位。
好多謝呢個問題，我相信好多人都會有呢個考量啦。喂 AI 喎，咁 hacker 用 AI， 咁其實呢個問題一答咧可以答成幾個鐘嘅，因為都幾複雜。不過
2分鐘嘅
得2分鐘嘅時間咧，我就簡化佢啦。簡單嚟講咧，其實有3個層面嘅。首先最簡單咧就係一個叫做一個衞生問題係啦。咁呢個 IT 嘅衞生咧，其實好多人都會忽略嘅，就係本身嘅 server 啦，本身你嘅 design 啦、設計啦。係咪一個衞生嘅環境咧？係咪一個已經係阻止到黑客嘅環境咧？呢個係基本問題嘅。其實呢個同 AI 冇關係嘅。咁如果你呢個做得好咧，上面 hacker 就算 AI 咧都未必進入到嚟。 係啦，咁第二步啦，就係頭先提到啦 AI 啦。其實坊間都有好多 AI 嘅 solution 啦。咁當然係當敵人去攻擊你嘅時候，佢同樣地用翻 AI 嘅技術去抵擋。係啦，咁但係呢一 part 咧，我哋放喺第二部分，係啦，因為呢個叫做被動防守，係啦，咁主動防守我哋視之為更重要嘅其實。最後一 part 啦，其實係咩咧？就係啲 IT 嘅保險，係啦，可能坊間都未必好清楚，但係其實就近來開始興起呢樣嘢，就係 IT 嘅 insurance。In case 乜都做晒啦，但係仍然係有一個損失喎，咁可以透過保險咧去俾翻個保障咯。咁 Michael exactly 就係呢個 IT 保險嘅專家啦，咁樣有興趣都揾 Michael。
多謝幫手問嗰個，多謝嚇。好，咁啊，今日嘅論壇咧就此為止啦。咁啊，我哋今日另外有一個好消息想同大家講嘅，就係剛剛啦，大家睇過我出咗本書啦，叫做你和你的企業如何不被 AI 取代嘅英文版，將會喺8月內出版，大家可以喺 Kindle 上面 download 到，亦都可以買到。係啦，我下面有位朋友阿 Joshua 問我要買本書，佢唔識中文咁點算咧？英文版 We finally got this published. It will be published on the Kindle in this month. So you can download it, you can even buy the physical copy of this book. So thank you very much，多謝大家。
唔該晒 Michael 同埋咁多位。